Welcome to Crafty Music Tips. My name is Crafty. I'm a full-time musician, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the 3 things that I've learned from meeting Paul McCartney. Now, if you're somebody that's seen my video where I tell the story about winning a competition to get a chance to go and see Paul McCartney's rehearsal before his first gig of his world tour and getting the opportunity to ask him a question, you might be thinking, mate, you didn't meet him. And that's true. But I did get a chance to ask him a question and receive an answer. And I did also get a chance to hear all of his answers to the questions of the other competition winners that were there as well. And there were 3 main things that I learned. Let's go through them. Okay, so the first is definitely the fact that he is experienced and not just at a okay level. You know, this guy is experienced at being, a top level musician. But not only that, the way that he dealt with the situation, the questions and the media, this guy's a pro and he's currently 81 years old. So you'd hope that you would get some experience and learn a few tricks of the trade by that stage. But yeah, I mean, it was just very, very, very obvious that this is a guy, he's got a lot of skills under his belt. And so that, for me, as a musician in the room, was just very inspiring. I wanted to practice. I wanted to, write some more songs. And I wanted to get better at being able to talk to people if they're asking me a question. So, being that this is a music tips YouTube channel, what is it in your life that you can take from that? What is something that could be, a little something that you could be working on or practicing or developing in your life? Now, that's a great segue to go into the second thing that I learned, which was his work ethic. Now, I do remember Ringo saying that Paul is a workaholic. And it used to sort of infuriate some of the other Beatles.
John and I would be sitting in the garden and the phone would ring and we'd say, we know it's him. We just knew by the ring. He wants to go to work. Yeah. Hey, should we go in the studio, lads?
Right.
And that's what we do.
So he was the motivating force.
He was.
Right.
Yeah.
And years later, Ringo says they really have to thank Paul and his work ethic for being able to sort of, I guess, get them off their ass, for lack of a better way of describing it. It's not as if that the Beatles were lazy or anything like that, but it's just that Paul had such a drive, such an energy to just work and do stuff and create and to put out their wonderful music out there into the world. And so I feel, and so does Ringo, that, the Beatles would have done less stuff if it wasn't for Paul. So is there a way that you can take a great positive message and give yourself a positive boost for you in your life and your music? For me, I definitely got that myself because, the guy is 81 years old and he's doing a world tour. He doesn't need cash. What an inspiration. That's definitely one of the things that was asked of him as well, which goes into my third thing. The third thing that I learned was how much of a passion he has for what he's doing. And I definitely resonate with that. I relate to that a lot because I am a full-time musician and I don't ever get a day off. And there's times where I'm feeling extremely tired, extremely run down, extremely burnt from the process of doing something that I love doing. And now I can hear someone say, oh, let me just get a hanky. Oh, do you feel tired from having to do a lot of music? And I get it. I don't feel that any of the things that I do to earn my living is actually quote unquote work. I definitely do feel like that there are many times where I feel like that I'm working, but it's such an enjoyable pastime, either creating music or just being around music. And so that's one of the things that Paul said in one of the questions. It was something to the effect of, what would you be like if you didn't get a chance to be, one of the biggest bands in the world and whatnot? He felt that honestly, he'd be writing songs and playing music somehow anyway, because he says it's just a wonderful hobby. He just loves it. He says that he gets a day off. What is he doing? He's probably picking up his instrument and just whipping up a little ditty of some kind that may or may not, develop into, some great well-known song. It's just something that he likes to do for fun. So what I took out of that is that I guess for me, I'm doing something right for me. The fact that I actually am, able to be a part of a way of earning a living that doesn't actually feel like work. It's a fantastic way of earning a living. And like I said, it definitely feels like work some of the time where I'm really working, but it doesn't really feel like, do I have to do this? I do get a sense of enjoyment out of it. And so for you, what is it that you can do in your life to be able to achieve that kind of sensation? Maybe more so. Maybe you don't need to. Maybe, you're going along the path and everything's great. But maybe Paul McCartney can help nudge you into a way of being able to do something that's just a little bit more enjoyable within your music, within your life in general. So I would like to thank the wonderful people from Frontier Touring for enabling me to be, such a small, lucky amount of competition winners to be able to be there at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Seats about 8,000 people, I think, and there was about 40 of us, including media, I think. So fantastic experience. Like I said before, I do have a video on the full story if you're interested in hearing what it was like for me to be able to go and have a quick chat with Paul McCartney. So if you haven't already done so, check out a bunch of the other different helpful crafty music tips videos here on the Crafty Music Tips YouTube channel. And I'll just leave you with a thought that you don't have to do everything right now. Just do the next thing. Thanks. I'll see you soon.